Hey everybody, welcome back to Success Secrets Revealed with your host Ronald Couming. And today we have yet another guest with us. Our third guest today is Haisha, and she's a life coach amongst many other things. And she's going to come on and talk to us about things that are going to help you achieve even greater success. First, I'd like to talk to you about a little bit, let you know how the show got created and basically what is the purpose for the show. I've had a radio show for about 4 years now. We have 1.7 million viewers or reach anyhow. I don't know how many are online at that exact moment, but because of COVID, they shut it down, and the radio station has been running reruns of older episodes. And while each one of those episodes has value, they're not as current and they're not dealing with COVID or what people might be going through now in the last 8 months. So I decided to start this show and bring people on live so people get to see us as well as hear us. I'm going to strip out the audio, send that to the radio station, and that will get put in the feed. So you got, this episode might be heard, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, whatever the rotation is. But I wanted to give back and to contribute and to do it now, you know what I mean? Instead of you guys hearing stuff and then me sitting here and waiting 5 months to start doing episodes again. So that's how the show got created. I wanted to let you know that everybody that comes on here is in fact a subject matter expert. I personally chose everybody and sent them the invite myself. And nobody gets paid to be on the show, myself included, and nobody pays to be on the show. So this is a gift from all of us to just give back and reach out. And, obviously people hear us and maybe they can utilize some of our services. We can help serve them. And lastly, we do have one sponsor because somebody has to pay the bills, right? And that's RCS Online Solutions. That's my company. And we're a digital marketing agency. We help business owners and entrepreneurs basically attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. A true claim to fame would be the SEO. Yes, we do websites, social media, we create funnels, video marketing. We do all that. But at the end of the day, if people can't find you online, not for your name, no one's searching for your name. If they know your name or your company's name, they're just picking up the phone and calling you. If they're going online, they have a problem that they don't know who can provide the solution for. So you need to come up online for the products, services, and solutions you provide. That's what we do, and we guarantee it. You don't even pay us until after you rank. So that's what RCS does. But right now, I'd like to talk to you more about, by the way, you can contact me at ron@rcsonlinesolutions.com, and I can help you determine what, if any services that you need at this time, and everybody does. But anyhow, so today I want to talk to you about Haisha. As she has been relentlessly curious about the mind-body-spirit connection for the past couple decades, which led her to travel to over 60 countries and meet with top spiritual leaders and tribes, from the Dali Lama in India to the Bedouins in the mountains of Petra and Shaman in Peru. She has given workshops and talks across Europe and Asia and the U.S. She has also coached top celebrities and CEOs about how to be authentically themselves and live in a balanced life. She now coaches on Zoom and holds private lessons for a select few. Please help me welcome Lisa. I told you to expect the clap track, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just did this, Eric Zuley, I'm in a book called Influencer Effect, and it just went live. It just got released. So he was bringing on all the authors. There's like 50, 80 people in the book, I think, right? And but he has a great clap track. So I'm going to ask him. I was on there Saturday. But it really, you can see it's just clapping, and it's just a whole bunch of people. It's a still, so you know it's not real, but it adds humidity, and you go from the serious, opening to now it's just people talking and having a conversation. So, Lisa, thank you for calling in. I hear you guys are having a heat wave out there in LA.
Right? It's like breaking records. It got to 120 in California. That's insane.
Out of the blue. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. How's the electricity? Are you guys having brownouts yet, or?
They said we were, but we haven't had any, but they warned us all.
Yeah.
So we're good right now. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's where you take like a big gallon of water and stick it in your freezer. So if the power
Right.
goes out, at least the gallon of water keeps whatever's in the freezer a little bit longer, right?
Yes.
And, yeah, so we did that. We keep that here ourselves, and I'm in Boston. So,
Mhm.
but anyhow, talk to us a little bit more. I mean, what an impressive, the Bedouins, the Dali Lama, Petra. That's where in the movie Indiana Jones, isn't that where he comes through and he sees the city? And
Yes.
yeah, to me, that's amazing. You know, I mean, that's like being 60 different countries that you've traveled in. Tell us more about you and what drives you to do all this.
Well, I was born under a Baghdad roof. So, yeah, I was born in I was born in Detroit, but moved to San Diego when I was about 10. But my father was from Iraq, so he really restricted us. So I felt like I was kind of in jail and didn't have free will to do what I wanted. And everything was, oh, everyone, it's dangerous out there. Everyone's out to get you. And so one day I was baking a cake down the street. And when I came back, my dad was home. Usually he worked, in the morning, 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m. And he saw that I got home late and got so mad at me and said, I'm sending you to an orphanage because I have 4 sisters and he didn't want them to be corrupted. Where were you at this time? It was like 5 o'clock or something. I was just baking a cake down the street from my friend. How would you dress like that? I was in my school uniform. It's like, because I went straight from school. But he would have none of that. It was a big fight, drama. I went to my room crying. And I was about 16 at that time. So at that moment, something inside me broke from being this really, like good girl and trying to do everything right and please mom and dad. I went to, what else is out there in the world? What are they trying to protect me from? Ideas. And I think a lot of people could probably have been in the same situation where they've been hurt or somebody did something where something shifted in them where they just didn't care. That's when you start taking drugs, or that's when you start having sex with everyone or start putting yourself in danger. People start cutting themselves when you've had such a bond with someone and something in an instant broke. So my rebellion was to travel. So I couldn't travel at that age. So I started secretly hitchhiking and getting in cars with only bad guys. If someone nice pulled over, I'd say, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. And if it was somebody who looked like a Hell's Angel, I'm all in. And I'd say, why are you like you? Why do you drive this car? Why do you have tattoos? Do you hurt people? Have you killed people? My dad warned me about people like you, and nobody hurt me. I did that about a dozen times and everyone couldn't be nicer. So I called them like my car therapist, that just really rescued me in a way because they were so kind and they were so real. And then I would talk to them about all the stuff that you're not supposed to talk to because family secrets and everything. And it was just really beautiful. So once I turned 21, when I graduated high school, I moved to Los Angeles. And I had gone to Madonna's concert. Her very first concert was at San Diego State University where I was going. So yeah, so I went to that. Then I found out where the band was playing afterwards. And me and my girlfriend went to that hotel. Then we got invited to the party up in the hotel room. And I met one of the musicians there. And we kept in touch. He's like, oh, come to Utah, come to Florida, come to, as they're playing. I'm like, I'm not allowed to spend the night. He's like, you're 21. I'm like, can't do it. And then finally in New York, the 5 last days, I said, I'm going to go. So I left a note from my dad. I'm moving out and I'm in New York and, I'm going to Europe and all that stuff. So I went to New York and was on the last 5 days of her Virgin tour. And then I got to meet Madonna and I said, how did you do it? How did you break through? She said, you have to travel and travel alone because people like us, we're so programmed from having a patriarchal father and you don't get to express yourself. And you're always brought up, you got to work for other people. Always look out for other people. Forget about me. What do you want? What kind of food what do you want? Where do you want to go? I'll go wherever you want to go. So she said, you have to figure out who you are or you can never be a success. So I said, okay. So off I went to Europe after New York, did 2 weeks there, youth hostels and backpacking. And my life was never the same. I got addicted to it, meeting all these amazing people all over the world. Nobody hurt me. Yeah, I had my stuff ripped off. I had this and then, a few incidentals, but, in the big picture, it was like, wow, there's so much more to life than the four walls in San Diego that I grew up in.
Wow. I don't even know where to stop, but I love Madonna too. So you got me right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, you're so right. I mean, so many people, myself included, we've all had situations in our lives when we were younger. In my case, I was like 9 to 12, but in other people's, it's different time frames, and something happens and it triggers a change in you. And sometimes that change can it all depends on a person's mindset. You can either use it to enable you, or you can use it to disenable you, and then just have that victim's mentality for the rest of your life. Or you can use it and say, hell no, no more, or whatever the case may be. So I love the fact, and that's so authentic that you talk about that, because there is a break, there is a change, and things they're different. And so you had that, and then you started. You went and you met Madonna. I mean, when you said her first concert, I'm like, I've been in love with Madonna since like 1984, and I think her first concert was like 83. You know what I mean?
I think 85. Yeah.
85. Okay. Yeah. So that's amazing. And she literally, I mean, this isn't about her, right? But she literally changed pop because she was, white and a female, and most of the people at that time were African American. And she was a punk rocker, if you don't know, in the beginning. Yeah, she was a punk rocker. So what a great person to run into with the.
And I've never met a celebrity before, and I'm like, the first one, really?
And I mean, she literally changed pop rock, and she was like, and then again, her mother died when she was 10. She also lived in Detroit, and that's where you were. Yeah. So I mean, you have that connection as well.
She has a lot of sisters, and a big family like I do.
Yeah. Did you tour with them as well?
I wasn't allowed to. I didn't have the guts to leave at that time, but I did in New York. I'm like, okay, this is really stupid if I don't do this, because I wanted to move to LA and be an actor. So I thought, if I don't do this, come on, I'm 21. When am I going to, get the guts to leave? But when you're in a Middle Eastern family, they're very tribal. And it's, it's like, if you do something wrong, we're going to disown you. Then all the cousins and relatives will disown you. And, then you feel isolated and alone. So it's very hard to make that step. But I left a note saying, I'm so sorry, I have to do this. I'm off and I'll be back. I love you. I took off and met her, and I got this private access for 5 days, got to see her behind the scenes, got to hang out with her and be in her private apartment, and just really get to go, sit back and go, this is what a whole different reality is. This is what it feels like when you take the chance and just say, I believe in me and I'm going for it. Everyone else be damned. This is my life. You don't want to hurt anybody, but you're going, this is my life. I'm not going to listen to what someone's brain, who has been brainwashed themselves by, a different culture, a different tribe. I mean, he grew up in Iraq, where it's completely different mentality here. So he's taking that from the 1940s to then at that time, the 1980s, saying, here in America and San Diego, this is how you have to live your life, because that's how we did it in Iraq, for hundreds of years. So it's like, once you start going, okay, I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just being me. And I'm always going to be open and grateful. But I have to be me. My soul came in here for its sole purpose. And if I don't live out that purpose, I'll be unhappy. I'll get sick. Who knows what'll happen, but your life, you will not be fulfilled. You'll always be in pain and suffering. So it's like, I'm going to embrace this. Happened for a reason. As soon as I said, I've got to move, I meet Madonna. I mean, come on, what are the chances? Yeah. And then that person that I met, that musician, I just talked to him yesterday. We're still very good friends. And we went out for 5 years. So I was all of a sudden, now I moved to LA and I'm with Prince. I'm with Earth, Wind and Fire at the house practically every day, because he was working with, I'm with everyone. Walk Like an Egyptian was recorded. I was there, and all these wonderful things. Yeah. And it's just by saying yes. So you have to look at your life and say, if something is presented to you, even if it's scary, you have to say yes if that's what you really want, because you don't get opportunities handed to you all the time. But you have to see the miracles. And people say, oh, well, your life just magically unfolded and this happened and that happened. It didn't magically unfold. We all have magic that comes our way. But when you're not open to it, that's when I say meditation's a big thing. I used to spend a lot of time alone and in nature, not knowing why at that time. It was just my personality to hug trees or sit in nature, sit in silence. And I always journaled. And so I could see the miracles when they come, because you have more clarity. It's like, this is a gift. What am I doing? Saying no to, protect my father from, feeling like his daughter might get corrupt or I might be in harm. You can't do that. So I went, and then when I came back home, I said, I have to move out. And then I moved to LA. I was disowned for 6 months. And then he came around and he started supporting me as much as he could, trying to help. And he's like, you can't live in this apartment, because I got a roach infested apartment, blue shag carpet, with a girlfriend of mine who wanted to be a singer from who I went to high school with. Let's do it. After I came back, let's move to LA. And we got a van and moved everything up. And he came inside. He goes, oh, you're my daughter. You can't live like this. Here, I'll pay your rent and let's go look. I go, no, don't take my story from me, because I was obsessed with autobiographies. And everyone, I loved even Charles Bukowski and all these people. I'm like, all these people suffered. They didn't get something handed to them. I'm like, Dad, it's my journey. I got to do it on my own. I love my cockroaches, and I name them. Oh, there's Charlie. There's Ben. When you open the cabinets. So I wasn't even afraid of them, because I embraced them and put butcher paper on the walls, and then just put cutouts and magazines of whatever was inspiring to both of us. We did that. And it was some of the greatest times I had. And my boyfriend lived up the hill in a 3-story tiered house overlooking Hollywood Hills, and a jacuzzi, sticking out. But he's like, come here. I'm like, no, I want my place. I want my place. Wow. Because it does something to you. It makes you appreciate. It makes you push harder and say, when you get handouts, what happens is you miss the journey. And I learned from all these years, 30 years later or whatever, that it's not about achieving the dream. It's about the journey to the dream. Like now I'm speaking all over the world. Like, I got a private session with the Dali Lama for 4 days with about 10 other people. I've been with Michelle and Barack Obama at private dinners. I've done everything. I've been with almost every celebrity. My husband co-created 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory. I've been on private Warner Brothers jets and planes. I've been all over, everywhere. Stayed with Bedouins in the mountains of Petra. Stayed in the City of Dead in Cairo. Did ayahuasca in Peru with shamans with Ram Dass and that whole crowd. And what I learned from all these people is that it's in the journey. So if you allow someone to go, oh, it's so hard, honey, let me help you, and lift you up, now you miss the juice, because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And if you take away the hardships, then you don't know how to handle the success. And when I was in Iraq, so after traveling this and that, then I decided to be an actress. I always wanted to be an actress. And then I realized I couldn't be an actress after about a year because of my upbringing. My dad said, you're going to go up there. Actress is being a whore. I'm like, it's not a whore. But almost every role I got, 5 seconds of nudity, 8 seconds of nudity. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I did some, and I did pretty well in commercials too. But I finally quit after I got an HBO special with Pierce Brosnan when he was on Remington Steele at the time. It was a $6 million budget. And that was like my biggest thing. But I had to be nude the whole time like this, as he's sculpting me as his wife. And I'm like, I can't do it. They're like, you're covered. I'm like, I can't, because it appears that I'm naked, So I quit. And I said, I'm going to Iraq to find out how to fix this brain of mine that's stopping me and is going to stop me my whole life. So that's another secret. It's like, look inside yourself and say, what is holding me back? What, pre-programming, who did the pre-programming, do a self-forgiveness on it, and write a new declaration of who you are in that aspect, So I'm like, okay, my Middle Eastern brain is holding me back. My need to please my father is holding me back. My fear of being disowned or being disrespected for the career I'm choosing is holding me back. Everything is holding me back. And so it's like, how can you succeed if you're like carrying all this weight of other people? And I do an analogy like with a pillow. I don't have a pillow here or whatever, but I'll just use this. It's like people give you their problems or their thinking, and you don't have to take it. You can just say, no, thank you. Once you take it, now you own it. And you're like, now what am I going to do with this? And this is going to waste years of your life. Just say, no, thank you. I don't want it, and don't take it. But I thought, okay, I need to go to Iraq. I'm going to talk to Saddam Hussein. and figure this whole thing out, why I'm so messed up. And we were bombing them at the time, and I asked people to come with me. Nobody would come with me. So I said, I'm going to just go alone. And I thought if I get hurt or killed, it doesn't matter, because I was going to be an actress and that doesn't work. And I have no idea who I am anymore, what I am, because that was always my vision. And so I got on a plane. Oh, I first had a funeral for myself and wrote out a will and gave everything to my friends. Like, you get my blue notebook and you get my marker.
My pencils that is like
my Mitsubishi. That's like 7 years old and dented up, but it's still a car. It runs. But anyway, so I went there, and you had to fly to Jordan because Iraq's airports were closed. Then at Jordan, I met this woman. And I said, oh, who are you with? Are you going to Iraq? And then she's like, oh, I'm by myself. What are you talking about? You're by yourself. She goes, yeah, I'm going there to kill myself. I'm like, no kidding. And I thought, I want to get kidnapped, because then I could write I know I'll get out of it. And I could write a tell-all story of how I escaped, like ISIS, without knowing the word ISIS at the time. Because they were told that all the journalists who went to Iraq, there was an 18-hour bus ride from Jordan to Iraq, and there was 5 stops. And then security would get on and, frisk everybody, make sure there's no bombs, but then they would kidnap Americans for money. So we said, great. So I said, okay, so don't get killed, let's get kidnapped, escape, and we could write a book together. Okay, so that was our plan. So we'd get on the bus, and anytime they'd come in, we were in the back going, oh, let me open my Louis Vuitton bag. Oh, here are my diamond earrings. Let's put that aside. And nobody would hurt us. Everyone, oh, Habibi, how can I help you? It's like, okay, so what's true and what's not true? And that's when I started thinking about, fake news and what are we hearing on TV and what's real, what's not. And I went there and went to the Al Rashid Hotel, because all journalists went to the Al Rashid Hotel. So take me to the Al Rashid. And after I spent 3 weeks there, I was going to stay a month, but I left a week sooner. And I ended up going to Tilkaf, this small town where my dad was born, and her family was born there too. And she moved there at 4 years old. So we went there in this little town, and that's where Saddam was born too. So Saddam was Christian. We were Christian Iraqis. And there's only a church, a school, an orphanage, and a little liquor shop. So very small little village. So I went into the orphanage, and I saw all these kids. So I started talking to the kids going, oh, who are you? They're like, why are you here? You don't like us. My uncle lost his leg. My, father was killed. You're American. Americans are evil. Then I said, oh, long story short, I'm going to memorialize your words. We're not that way. It's the government. It's politics. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I ended up coming up with the idea to write a book about orphans around the world. So I started traveling, and in 5 years, I traveled to 15 orphanages, interviewing them, asking them these questions, then put it in a book called Whispers from Children's Hearts, and self-published. And then I sent it to all these schools around the world, in Europe and in the US. And then I started getting asked to speak. So I talked to second graders and first graders, and talking whatever, in libraries and whatever, talking to children all about the world and different cultures. And I did fun facts and who they are, what kind of food they eat, to try to, end xenophobia. And look, we're all in this together. And that's how my speaking career started. All of a sudden now I'm a speaker. And then I said, oh, I need to learn more about this, because now I feel like I'm life coaching people. So I went and got a master's in psychology. So I'd have a little book smarts, because I was very street smart at that time. And anyway, that led to over 60 countries of, I missed modeling in Tokyo and working. A lot more happened, but long story short is, just few incidences. I say there's 3 aha moments in your life. And if you could think of them and identify them, you could learn from them. 3 in your childhood and 3, like post 20 till, like whatever age you are now. And those are the traumatic experiences. You could either turn them into gold, or you could turn them into coal. You could ruin your life forever, or you could find the juice. So when I felt betrayed by my father, I have daddy issues the rest of my life, and I'm going to pick men that are abusive, and I'm going to do this and that and do drugs. And I said, I'm going to go find out the root of this, and I'm going to talk to Saddam about it. So wherever I went, I want to meet Saddam Hussein. I want to meet, good luck. I never got to meet Saddam, but I did get to meet Taha Ramadan and Tariq Aziz. So, the vice president. And Secretary of State over there. So it was just like, oh my God, because they had a expat convention there where 200 expatriates went there to talk, help relieve tension around the world and lift the embargo and all that stuff. So I kind of piggybacked on a group that did that. So I talked to them for a few minutes, and anyway, it was interesting. And then after that, I realized, okay, I'm never going to meet them, but I learned so much about the culture, so much about them, so much positive that came out of it, of they're beautiful people in so many ways, and the government's this and that, but it helped me go, oh, I understand my father. So I came back and said, Dad, this is who you are. This is why you do the things. You're not like just a total asshole. You love me so much, and that you're so over. I get it. And I showed him videos of his old home, his old high school that he went to, all this stuff. Wow. And that bonded us. Then we had a great relationship instead of having a terrible relationship our whole life. And then I just moved on, and somehow I became, I guess, a life coach, educator, and I did films, and I decided to interview the top people around the world. I was meeting extraordinary people. So I started interviewing all these big celebrities and big, thought leaders and psychologists, authors, spiritual leaders, out of curiosity and to share what I was learning with the world.
Wow. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. That's just, that is an amazing moment. But how did you actually, like, when you started meeting these celebrities and stuff, I mean, the Dali Lama for 10 days,
4 days,
4 days with 10 people. I mean, this is just like your life is, have you written your autobiography yet?
I have. I finished the first draft. It's called Under a Baghdad Roof.
Yeah. So it's the first 35 years, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
I already know 85, Madonna's first concert. I can't believe it. I'm so jealous. I don't want, out of everything, right? You've talked about, but I'm so focused because I love Madonna forever. But and also Petra, that's in Jordan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to me that's one of the things I have to go see. And but I mean, what an amazing story. You went to Iraq to get kidnapped, and just so you could escape and write a story.
Yeah, so I loved Christiane Amanpour at that time too. I was watching her on the news, in these different war zones, and I'm like, oh, that would be a cool job, because I was kind of an adrenaline junkie. I need excitement in my life, but I was never a good drug addict or alcoholic. It just wasn't my jam. Anytime I'd even drink, I'm like, I don't like it. Or people go, oh, try these pink ladies, try this, try Coke. I'm like, no, just no. So that was my adrenaline. It was like put myself in danger and see if I had street smarts or the wits to get out of it. So I kept challenging myself in that way. So I thought, oh, I've done this so many times. I could take on ISIS, I could, without knowing the name, I could take on Iraqi strongmen, no problem.
Yeah.
So I actually went up to the gates where they guarded castles and said, give me your gun. I'd say, oh, I'm Saddam's niece. I was bold. I mean, I didn't just sit there.
Did they give you their guns?
I do. I have photos of it. Yeah, I took their guns and I said, let me do it. Oh, are you afraid of Saddam Hussein? I thought Saddam, because it has Saddam. Oh, he's the best leader. Oh, I thought he was the best leader. Why are you afraid of him? And I would just taunt. I was not, I don't know, that was my crazy, and
I'm surprised you didn't get shot, but they actually would physically give you their guns.
They gave it to me and let me point it and take pictures. And then they'd come in a picture with me. They just said, oh, but if it gets shown, I could get hurt. I said, don't worry, no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. What an amazing story. And then you went on like 60 countries and interviewed the orphans, the kids. And how did that go for you? That must have been emotional because, those poor kids, I mean, they did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? And their parents, some of them, their parents got killed right in front of them, I'm sure, in multiple different countries. So, I mean, the hardship that they've endured. So when you were writing that book and you were just developing that line, I mean, that must have been emotionally.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do with it. I just had some footage and photographs, and I kept journals. And then someone who I was seeing at the time saw it all. I'm like, I have no idea what to do. And then I guess he one day surprised me and put a heart and put the children's hearts and did a big heart. And he typed up all my journals of all these interviews and broke it down in countries. And I'm like, oh my God. And that made it a lot more doable. So I said, okay, it's a book. Let me try to figure out how. But I interviewed so many that I said, okay, let me just put 5 for each question, the 5 best answers, because a lot of them were somewhat repetitive and in one way or another. So I'm going, let me find the juice and, put those together. This
is an amazing. I mean, I had no clue we were going in this direction. And most of my interviews are like, I'm an entrepreneur. I started here. I ended up here. This is how I got there. And you can too. But yeah, what an amazing story. Wow. And you were also modeling in Tokyo?
Yeah, when I quit acting, I still had an agent, and I said I don't want to do TV or film anymore. So, but I did, I got a soap opera, and then they wanted me to do a love scene. I said, I can't be a love interest. It's a soap opera. I'm like, my dad, Uncle Habib and Uncle Sally. I can't. They'll come up and kill you. I can't. So, so I kept my commercial agent, and they said, oh, the Japanese are looking for models, which they did regularly. They took 4 or 5 at a time, and then they give you a 3-month contract. So I went over there and I said, okay, let me try modeling. It's like good money, like about 30, 40 grand in a few months. And I'm like, I could do that. That'll, fill the coffers for a while.
Yeah.
And, but I was crazy there too. When I was there, I thought, okay, let me write a book about Japan. I had no idea what, but I'm meeting billionaires. I'm meeting the top designers, models, the top actors. When you're an American model there, you're like Angelina Jolie here. It's just like you're the thing, and then your face is plastered everywhere, and you're on commercials. And so I said, how can I use this in some way and make it? Again, I needed excitement. So how can I bring this up and make it a little dangerous and a little more exciting? So I said, I'm going to interview and do a book on the Yakuza here, which is their mafia. And you could tell who they are by not having a pinky. It's cut off. So anytime I go places, I tell some of my friends, take me to a hostess club, and I'd see their pinkies cut off. So I go, oh, mushi mush. I just want to talk to you. I'm from America, and I'm doing a book, and can I hang out with you for a weekend? Will you show me where the severed heads are? I know that I read that you put them in lockers. I won't judge you. I just want to know why you do it, who you do it to, what businesses you're like holding hostage, because if they don't pay them $50,000 a year, then they'll destroy their business, but they'll protect you if you give them $50,000 a year. I'm like, who do you do this to? How do you do it? Why do you do it? What happened to you when you were a boy? I'm like, let's talk. Why did you become this way? Anyway, so I did that, and then
did they answer you?
They did.
Wow.
We'd be here for 3 hours if I told you everything, but long story short on that one is, yes, I met some of them that said, okay, come with us, and no, we don't have severed heads, but
we don't keep them as souvenirs.
Yeah. But then I thought, anytime we did the runway, live shows, everyone would go out afterwards, and we'd all jump in different people's cars or whatever, walk out together and take the subway together. And at one time, about 2 months into this trip, someone said, you want to go out? And I thought, oh my God, every time I went out, everyone was drinking a lot. And again, I didn't want to drink because we were up at 4:35 to model. I had to look good. I thought, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't want to spend it, getting drunk. And then everyone there was in cat fights, and the girls were fighting. She stole my guy, and this guy, all that stuff. And I'm like, I want nothing to do with that. I just want to show up, do my job, bow out, and go meet friends outside of this. But so I made an excuse. So I just said, anyone who goes out with me, I said, I'm not going out anymore unless I'm paid $50,000 for dinner. And we have to talk about my screenplay that I wrote, and you have to talk to me about investing in it. So if I can't pitch you, I'm not going out. Then it became a running joke. There's that girl that won't go out unless you talk to her about financing her film. And they're like, no, she's just kidding. I'm like, nope, not doing it. Then someone bit. A businessman said, okay, I'll take you out. I said, well, it's $50,000 and the check has to clear. I have to see it in my bank account. And it worked. It was in my bank account. I'm like, okay. So I went out and pitched. So they said, what's your film? I never wrote anything before. And I said, oh, it's called Psycho Sushi, because I thought everyone there was crazy and everyone ate sushi. And then he's like, well, what's the storyline? Oh, it's about LA and Tokyo, because that's where I'm from, and hot love and cold fish. And they're like, oh, very good. And I like, what's the storyline? I'm not telling you anything else because you'll steal the idea. It's a great idea. And that's why, so went through that whole thing. And then I pitched it a little bit. And then, so that was done. And then he said, oh, let's go out again. I go, it's $50,000 every time you meet with me, because otherwise you're wasting my time. I don't know, if you're actually going to invest or not. I need $1 million. So he said, after a few weeks went by, he said, okay, let me take you to the board. And he took me to the board of the robotic equipment company. And then there's like 12 of them there. They're like, what is this? And why do you want us to give you $1 million for this project? Then I said, okay, guys. I said, I'm wired a little differently. I'm real. I said, and this is where I teach people to be authentic and real. That's what sells. Putting on the phoniness and trying to be too perfect and too everything turns people off, because they get that all the time. And everyone's been manipulated. Everyone's, people don't fall for that anymore. So I just said, look, I'm just a chick who wanted to be an actress and couldn't do it because I'm from this Middle Eastern family. And I said, now I'm modeling here. And I said, I really want to be a writer director then, because I can't be an actress. So I decided I want to do this. And here's a great story. And they said, well, where's the budget and where's the breakdown? I said, oh, all that's bullshit. I said, every movie right now is $1 million. That was like when Tarantino was doing his first film that was in a garage that did really well, where he cut off people's ears or whatever. Remember that one? Very first film that was in Sundance and was all the rage. Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs. I remember that.
Yeah, and it was for $1 million. So everyone was pitching, I've got $1 million script. I got $1 million. I said, everyone's pitching $1 million scripts because of Reservoir Dogs. I said, so it's $1 million script. I said, and everyone changes the numbers. Nobody really knows, because budgets always go over budget. So $1 million really means $1,250,000, or it means, you shuffle the numbers. I said, so we don't need a budget. I said, all we need is $1 million. And I said, but you're not really investing in a movie. I'm offering you once in a lifetime opportunity to get away from boredom. And I said, look at you guys. You're so bored. You're robots. You all have blue and gray suits. You don't laugh. You have to wear a poker face. Who can you trust? You can't trust anyone. Your coworkers, your bosses, they'll all tell on you. You can't talk to your wife because they don't even like you. They want you gone all day. Because I know that that's the culture. They marry because they have to, but the wives don't like the husbands. The husbands don't really like the men. It's just business, transactional. So I, said, listen, I'm going to offer you a year in America. And this is when America was great, 1990, when all real estate was booming. Japanese were coming back and forth. Japanese was the richest country. And I said, you're trying to come and meet people, stay there. You get an excuse to stay in America and get away from your jobs because of this investment. I said, even if you lose the money, their taxes were so high. It was like 60% of their, I said, you would put all this money in, you'd be giving it to the government for taxes anyway. So even if you lose it, who cares? But I'm going to give you the story to tell your grandkids when you're 80 years old. This is the story you're going to be talking about the rest of your life, the year in America where I made a movie. And I said, you all love blondes. I said, you get to meet every blonde you want to meet. And you're an investor. Everyone's going to want to be with you, pitch you. And it's going to be the best year of your life. I said, so for $1 million, I'm giving you the best year of your life, and it won't hurt you. It's the company money that would go to taxes anyway. I said, and you get to hang out with me, and I'm really fun. So anyway, I said, but the catch is it has to be here within 6 weeks, because I have American investors who want to invest, but I prefer Japanese mentality than Japanese honor, because they really did have that. And I said, so I'd rather work with you guys. So if it's in the bank account, we're in. If not, we'll still be friends, whatever. And it was in the bank account. So within 3 months, I had $1 million, no script, no nothing, just this.
$1,050,000.
Huh?
$1,050,000.
Yeah. It was just, yeah, right. The moral of the story is it's, you could turn anything around if you are just real in yourself. If I went in there with a budget and here's the script and, oh, hello, and I hope they would just not respect you. But the way I did it, they're laughing and saying, oh, so she's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're bored. Yeah, we do like American Girls, and we do like fun, and we do like, and our money does go. So it made sense to them. And
That's amazing. And you read them. You knew their culture enough that you read them about, like, their coworkers are telling them the government 60% tax, so it's really only a $400,000 investment. You're going to have an excuse to come to America because you have an investment. That too is a write-off. The whole situation with their wives and their coworkers might be telling on them. I mean, you read them to a T. That's amazing story.
Yeah, because so many of them wanted to talk to me. Anytime we'd go out, they corner me and, oh, this is what happened and this is business. I'm like, what do you think of this? I go, why are you asking me? I'm like 25 years old in America. Why are you? Oh, I can't talk to this, I can't talk. So they just needed a sounding board. And I guess I have some good common sense, but they needed a sounding board. So I knew that. And I asked the women, because I'd go work out, at their local gym. And a lot of females are there, of course. And I'd meet them at, different functions. And they would always say, oh, your husband, where's he? Oh, I don't want my husband. I just like him to come home, give me the money. That's our culture. I pay the bills and he works. We do our own thing. And I heard that over and over and over again, that it wasn't for love. It was for, if women don't have a baby or aren't married, they're not respected, and men can't get a high-ranking job unless they're married. They could never be the CEO or a manager or something like that. They'd always have a lower income job.
Wow.
So who's available to get married, and they just do it. Yeah.
Wow. So it's kind of a loveless life over there. Huh?
Yeah. And sad. A lot of them just have really a lot of sadness. So they drink a lot and they party a lot. And they love Americans. They loved them and respected. And I want to learn about American culture. I want my English to get better. That's why I heard over and over, look, you get to spend time, practice your English. You're going to have all these actors swarming.
You. What? I'm doing this for you. You're giving me $1 million, but this ain't for me. This is for you.
Yeah, I said it's really a win-win. I get this opportunity and you get this great gift. I said, so let's join forces and both have a great year.
You're amazing. And you're right. I mean, we could definitely, I've got like another 4 to 5 minutes, maybe 10, but this is, or 9, but this is, this is amazing. I want to read your autobiography because, in addition to learning more stories, I know these things are true. I mean, I can just see it, hear it, feel it. I mean, it's amazing, man.
Yeah, I think when you have no fear, that's why I understand jihadists, how they blow themselves up. When you're in so much pain, like when I was going to Iraq, I was in so much pain. I felt like I couldn't be me. I couldn't have the dream that I had set out for myself was just like taken away from me because of my background. And I felt, I don't know, I just felt so empty inside. I felt like I couldn't connect to anyone authentically because I couldn't share who I was because everything was bad. Everything was a secret. Everything is, so I couldn't really be with a guy in a way that I'm deep and intimate because you're a whore, you're a whore, you're a whore. Everything was like, I'm like, I don't want to live. I can't be me. So what's the point? So I did extreme things to feel something that was deeper than the pain I was feeling inside so I understand cutting. It's just like, this is so painful. I've got to do something that's more painful that helps me overcome this. But through those, I somehow met the most amazing people. And each time I'm going, oh, there's hope, there's hope, there's hope. But I had no fear. It's like I almost wanted someone to just kill me or someone to just do something to me. And I think those opportunities helped crack my heart open and go, oh, there's so much more out there. Maybe I don't have to be an actress, but maybe there's something else that I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe that's my soul's calling. I was supposed to learn the skills of an actress, take all the classes I did and all this, but it's for a different reason. And things could start opening up. So when you don't have hope in life, just look at where you are and go, what is appearing? Keep a journal and go, what options? Because people don't see the opportunities or the miracles, or they, block them out because it's not their mindset. My mindset was just, anybody rescue me. What do you got? Okay, I'll grab it. Trip to Iraq, I'll grab it. Whatever it was, I'll take it because you don't have anything to lose. So especially now with COVID, I think really sit down and, this is what I would do, what I do with my Zoom clients and my private clients, really make a list of what you have and really organizing your life and finding out who your true friends are, what your soul journey is, what your personality is. How do you match it? How do you mix and match and create the uniqueness that is you? Because everyone else has been taken. What is unique about you and what are your skills? And take that and just blast it. Then you meet organically the right people that come into your life that help you and you help them. And it's just a beautiful, journey with bumps, of course, but you still, you work it out.
I love it. And I love that whole thing. Like once you start on that journey, you're right. The people just show up because your energy changed, your aura changed.
Yes.
It just, people just show up in your life. I mean, you took it to an extreme. I don't know too many people that are going to meet the Dalai Lama or, you know what I mean? Dude, that's like huge type, you know what I mean? But people's lives can significantly improve in their internal mental and emotional peace can significantly improve and have balance and shred some of the stuff that's been holding them back, like you said, with that bowl, things that are holding you back mentally and emotionally, name them, forgive them, you gave it a step. I love it, man. And that, however you are in your personal life will spill over into your business life. And so, to me, it's interrelated. So, for all the listeners here that are business owners and entrepreneurs, if there's something holding you back mentally and emotionally from achieving your own peace, but it's also going to hold you back in business, and it's also going to hold you back because the type of people, you really need to surround. If you're like the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
Yes.
So you need to be around people who are operating on levels higher than you, physically, mentally, emotionally, professionally, just so because the conversations are different, the thought process is different, the questions, the answers, everything is at a totally different level, So I love it. I just listening to you, I might probably just call just to listen to you talk. For 20-minute calls, I might call and just say, okay, just tell me more.
I have a soul blazing book, my coaching book that I just finished writing too. So that one hopefully will come out in September next year, the coaching book, then the year after the memoir. So it's going to be a while before that comes out because one at a time. But I am doing these coaching calls to help people realize their dreams. And I have this method called the imposters that wreak havoc on your life. Your victim, your clown imposter, your narcissist, all these different people. And I have you name them, then see how they've been hurting you in your life and how they can help you. And that could be another hour talk just alone on that. But that's what I would do on a Zoom call with clients.
Nice. That's amazing, man. I'm probably going to reach out to you again in about 4 to 5 weeks. I'd love to have you come back on. And you just have so much to offer. I really appreciate you. I didn't expect all that today. I'm telling you, that's amazing. The stories you have, the life that you have led. And your current husband, you said, co-wrote The Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men?
Co-created, yeah.
That's amazing. Big Bang Theory. Who's the guy there? Who's the nerd? Sheldon.
Yeah, Sheldon. But I got to meet Wozniak on that. Everyone was on that show. And like you're saying, it's who you talk to and who like Woz. How did you create Apple? What is the story? Give me behind the. When you start talking to different people who have a different mentality, it's so true. And you see how they vibrate. You vibrate at a different level. Then you start attracting a different level of people around you that are really serious or are in your same ballpark of what you want to do. And then just, I always say expect miracles or whatever, because miracles start happening right when you start meeting the right people. But you have to believe in yourself, and it's a stepping stones. And, it just happens. And my husband's the one who helped with the meeting with the Dalai Lama. He said, it's Christmas. I don't know what to get you. You have everything you want. So I know you love experiences, and he's someone on your bucket list. So he arranged that. And, they looked up who I was and said, I want to go teach and all that. So I went and spent 4 days with him, but they set me up with, it was a 2-week trip. They set me up with his doctors, his, everything, his astrologers and all the business owners, everyone who he works with. So every night I got to go out with 2 or 3 people in the Dalai Lama circle and get to network with them and meet with them. And then I got to speak in India, and now they're still calling, we're still in contact if I go back, but I just haven't gone back. But it was an amazing experience. through that.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
So what a gift, and it's still giving. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
And we helped with the orphans over there and all that kind of stuff. And
I got to ask, what happened to the $1,050,000? Did you ever do a movie, or did you just buy a car?
Oh, no. I did a movie. They were here and they loved it.
Oh, they actually came over? Yeah, good.
Oh my God. Yeah. Here it is. Psycho Sushi.
You really did it. You just made the name up and then you created it.
Made everything up. Yeah. On the spot.
Is that?
Oh no! I have to become a writer now. I have to write a screenplay. And
where can I watch that movie? Is that on Netflix? I got Netflix Prime. Where can I?
I think the trailer's on there now. I don't think it's on that right now. It comes and goes, but Google the trailer, Psycho Sushi trailer or something. I think it might be on.
And you just sat there and made it up, and you created the name because they all love sushi, and they're all part of the fingerless group. And you know what I mean? I don't want to piss anybody off, so I don't want to make anybody, right? So and you just sat there, you made it up, and then poof, you made it happen. They gave you.
Then I wrote a screenplay. It was terrible because I wasn't a screenwriter. So then I asked a couple of screenwriter friends to help me.
And you had some money to pay the copywriters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they were my friends. I said, you got to do this for free. And because at that time, a lot of them wanted to get $1 million movie out too. And so I had one that was doing bigger films, and he just got paid like $800,000 that year working on projects. So I said, please take this and make it. Wow. You're doing a big one now, do a small one. And so he helped me do it and was on the set helping me rewrite stuff because we were too ambitious with the budget. And anyway, anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. We shot in Tokyo, Nagoya, and LA, and on $1 million budget. I mean, it was crazy, bringing 9 people over to Japan. And so that's a whole nother hour segment, but
we got to do it. I mean, you're amazing. This is huge, but it just goes to show you too, when you put your mind to it, when you step outside your comfort zone. I mean, you look at all this stuff, and all of this came, because I had to figure out what was going on. Why was this like this? Why was he like that? Why was my father like that? Where was my culture? What was holding me back? What was me individually holding me back? So you set on a course to resolve some of these things, and it just was a domino effect that just.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the key takeaway here is to get out. One of the key takeaways here is to get out of your comfort zone, figure out what is holding you back, address it, and then get outside your comfort zone, but live with no fear. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? They say no, right? When you went into that boardroom, but you just went in, and I mean, I love
them laugh. I would say, look at you, look at your teeth. Who would want to be with you? When you speak, nobody will tell you this, but your bad breath is so bad. I said, but if you're in America as an investor, nobody will care. I would just joke, pick on them, because then they'd laugh. Aha, she just said that about you. So it was like,
you bonded with them.
Totally bonded. Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
It's about mirroring someone and mirroring their vibration, understanding them too.
Yeah, you must have. I mean, you mirror and matched, and you just read people. I mean, one of the things that you had to have been good at, especially when you were getting into the cars with those people, your hitchhiking therapists, you were able to read people, and so you have like an innate ability to just probably just sum people up and what their true intentions.
That's why I felt safe going to Iraq. I said, I could get out of any situation. If I'm kidnapped, I'll get out of it somehow. And we could write a book about it, and have them help us write a book. So we'll get out of it. I have the confidence built up from all those hitchhiking days, but I didn't know. I was a little naive too. So naive mistake all along the way.
Yeah, it's so funny. My kidnappers, not only will they release me, but they're going to help me write the book.
So they'll help market it. Hi, I was a jihadist. I'm co-author of this book. Yeah, you create it. If you could create it, it could happen, but it has to be based in reality, and you have to really believe in it. You can't just do a hobby one day and then ask people for favors. Nobody wants to give you a favor. You have to give yourself a favor first. You have to prove once you do something, everyone comes and wants to help you, that you're not asking. People come to you. Hi, will you be on my show? I'm not out there going, can I be on your show? Can I be on your show? People come to you, but you have to do something first. And that's the biggest mistake. I get a lot of calls, as do a lot of my friends. Hi, you don't know me, but will you help me, or will you connect me to this and that? It's like, you're not there yet. If you were there yet, you'd already be there. And I know it's like a catch-22. It's like for actors, can't act unless you have your Screen Actors Guild card, but you can't get it unless you act. But it's something kind of like that. You have to develop you, and your vibration has to be that other people will see you and go, I need to help you because you're a great blessing in the world and you've got your act together. Even if you're not there yet, you could tell people, you got that, that you could tell, walk in a room and know if you talk to someone for a minute, if they've got it or not, when they're saying, oh, I'm doing this or that, this person will probably never do it. They're a talker and this one's a doer. So they have to get to that point. So
I love it. And I put the information here, and it's your name, right? Email me at, so it would be Lisa at
Haisha.com.
Haisha.com. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is in the description, this will be up on YouTube. It'll be all the social media channels. It'll be up on my my blog post. I'm also going to send you a clip of this video as well as the raw audio and the raw video. Well, it'll be this video, but from StreamYard itself, without the descriptions that I'll put up on YouTube. So you'll be able to put it wherever you want. But that's amazing. You can put it right as a trailer to the Psycho Sushi. I can't believe that is so cool. You went from meeting Madonna, and she actually sat and spoke with you, and she gave you advice. And that reminded me of one thing. I remember reading her book probably in the mid 80s, late 80s. And one of the things she said, because she had that mentor who first took her when she was working at the Dunkin' Donuts, and she was a punk rocker, and took her and told her, listen, you're never going to be successful as a punk rocker, but if you switch and do this, you can be. And she kind of like guided her on that route. But then after she got to a certain point of success, she had to let her go, and she had to go with someone else. And some people were
ready demand. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people were like, well, you are ungrateful. She was like, no. I mean, that she brought me to a certain point, but she could not take me. She wasn't the one who could take me to the next point. I'm moving. If you can keep up with me, you come on. But if you can't, good luck, but goodbye. And so I learned a lot from her too. I mean, she changed a lot of stuff. So what a great person to be the first person that you.
Yeah, but also I didn't want to misrepresent. She didn't like hang out, go, oh, Lise, let me sit and chat with you and mentor you. I was there all the time because she was just part of our group. It was like a group of, all the band
conversation.
Tying her shoes, getting ready for her jog. Hey, Madonna, da da da. How did you become Madonna? How do I get rid of all this stuff and all these thoughts in my head and all these? She's you got to travel alone. You'll never do it if you're in the company of people because you're a people pleaser. You've got to always, whatever you want, so because you got to travel alone. So you got to figure out who you are and what you want. Anyway, see ya, the next time. Hey, Madonna.
Yeah, but that's excellent. Yeah, it was short little clips, but yeah. I can everything you're saying I can see, and that's what she did. That's how she flipped it. And your apartment, when you talked about the cockroaches and the stuff on the wall, you had your cutouts on the wall. All I could think of was the movie Desperately Seeking Susan. Like her jacket and stuff, which she had thing, and the way she lived like that. And, I'm sitting here saying, that's amazing. But you have an amazing history, and it's not over yet. So I'll definitely be buying your autobiography, and I'm going to look up Psycho Sushi. I can't believe that. That's hysterical, and you made it up on the spot. You know what I mean?
It's not a masterpiece, but it was a great education.
Yeah, it's probably like the tomatoes who ate LA or something, right? Yeah. But it's the point. You went in there with nothing. You got $1 million from a boardroom of Japanese guys who didn't even know you. They're like, well, why are you here? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm here to change your life and give you the experience that you're going to be talking about the rest of your life.
Yeah, at 25 too. God bless you. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much. You've been amazing, and I said, I'll get you these clips in short order, and we'll be in touch again, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You. All right, you do great work.
Bye for now.
Bye.